Hello players, this video quickly show how to play and give you some basic hints and tricks to help you get into the game more easily. First thing, in the main menu, for those of you who want to play by email, go to options, select by drawing down the slider the play by email section here where you have to enter your name, your email, most important the save folder. And if you need any detailed information, always check the I button. It's also the same in scenario. It opens a PDF reader with detailed instruction on the how to. So when this is done, in the main menu, you select your scenario by clicking on New Game. You have a list of scenario. The engine sort them by alphabetical order. It's always the same, side 1, side 2. Important when you play by email, the player launching the game is the first player always. But if you want to play the Commonwealth, you have to ask your partner to play. Again, the I button gives you detailed operations information. Okay, let's, for the purpose of the demonstration, check the compass operation, which is the in the initial version called Operation E, but we renamed the game in the beginning. I'll play the first side, the Allies, the British, at the start of a counter-offensive. Okay, let's get into the main interface. I'll give you the most important information you need to know. Loading is quite fast. It's a bit slower the first time you have to play the game, but it's usually fast. The game always starts with what we call an event, which puts you into the situation of what's going on. Just read it, it's short. It gives you some information. If you want to skip it, not to reduce it, but just see elsewhere, you just reduce. Otherwise, you skip it. It has no importance. And we have the main interface here. You can zoom in and out with the mouse wheel or with the arrows. So you see the map. The map is divided in regions. The regions have different kind of terrain: rough, desertic, sandy, very rough, or the coastal region with the main road here, which is very important because this is crucial for logistics, and of course Egypt with the wealthy and cultivated regions. The minimap here allows for shortcut. You just click where you want to go and you see it. If you are embarrassed by the minimap, just get it reduced or up. What you can see and use also is the different buttons to see who controls what. This is important. Or you also, more important even, the supply situation. Everything in red stripe is unsupplied, so you might suffer problems if you end up here. And last but not least, the stacking. This is the number of stacking points of units that you can have in a given region. The more difficult terrain in the deserts have low stacking values. The coastal regions have higher stacking values. Okay. Interface, you have the menu buttons here. You have the flag of who you're playing. If you leave the mouse on it, you will see the number of units you have at the moment, the cards you have in your hands, the victory points you have, and you have the same information for the opposing side. The score, VP 4-6 now. And in the middle, you have the turn list, very important. You see in which order the game is turn-based is resolved. So the current phase is currently highlighted and has a small arrow in front of it. So you always know at which stage and what's going to follow. Finally, you have the list of events. It's a drop-down list which will pile up when events occur. And leaving the mouse on it, also you have a few information of what this event, including enemy events. You will know what has happened. Here you have a button which helps you move to next phase if you don't want to play a card. This is typically the card button. Of course, the tooltip will tell you information about it. cards are here, and they can be, if you click on it, they keep on they move into the front, and you can read them. This gives you a rather simple but rather sufficient explanation. When a card is highlighted and blinking green, it means it's playable during the current phase. So this waiver card is playable right now. When I check it, well, it's all sugar, just play, and to play you drop it here. What it did was giving me an extra VP. You can see here I am 5, I was 4 before, and I have 2 extra cards which will be quite useful. And after you have played a card, there is a normal draw. The draw is 2 cards per turn. So in the end, I end up with quite a few cards in my hands, as you can see here, and I'm sure I'm going to use them later. You have to know that if you have more than 12 cards at the end of the card's draw, and you didn't play any, excess card will have to be discarded and you will have to lose them. So it's a bit annoying. But anyway, it's okay. As you can see here, the button with the play cards situation has been replaced by the blinking blue arrow, which tell me, okay, now I'm ready to move to the next phase. So after the card draw, the next phase will be airbase return, which normally happens in other turns. Here I have no more one flying, so it's okay. Reinforcement, so I'll get new things. As you can see here again, the button says, I have cards possibly to play, and I see the cards are here. So I will take maybe this logistical card, which will give me an extra truck, which will enter in a major port. Very good, so I'll see later. Well, I don't want to use this one right now, so let's move. And I see my card gave me the 4th Supply Regiment in Alexandria. Very good. And now we have the key section, which is the air movement. Air support, you will see in the game, is very important because it's a serious boost in battle. It has a good striking power, and it helps you also discover enemy units. Here again, in this air phase, I can play an aerial reconnaissance, which can allow me to disclose an enemy hidden site. Very interesting. So I'll play it, and then I see enemy stacks. Some I don't see, but the plane will reveal. I'll try this one. And here I see, a division of the Italian army and the armor group. Very interesting. It's good to know, but I cannot re-access the information, so don't forget it later. Air movement is, as shown in the tutorial, very simple. You just drag units and you go around. For example, I'm trying to fly here, and I wanted to strafe this airport, and then I have a position here. And the good gameplay of air units is just to allocate them where you think you will have an interesting battle. You can drag the units to the target. If you are too lazy to do that, the easiest way is just like right click on the stack, left click on the destination, and the unit flies to the place very easily. So I'll allocate my planes. I'm very happy. And is it enough? Well, if I have a dot tab, not played everything, you can see here the cycle button shows that I still have units to play. When I click on the button, it shows me the yet unplayed unit. So it's a good way not to forget to play units. You can zoom in and out all ways to do that. So I will attack the front line, so I will send my 4th group here, and because of the aerial reconnaissance also, I'll find that there might be some ammunition here. I have armor here, armor here, armor here. Wow. And as you see now, I have no more units to move, so I'll go to the land movement. In lens movement, I have many interesting flashing cards. The most important in this scenario is the O'Connor. The stack with the General O'Connor, which I can see here, will receive a bonus of 2 movement points, which is good. And I have some reconnaissance, not from now, I don't need, but I have a fast move, which gives me 2 bonus points to 1 unit. So I will play it, and I will select these guys which are back in Alexandria, because it might be very interesting to get them quickly. I think I am done with the playing of cards, and so I move to land movement. Be careful not to click again here until you have moved all your units. Of course, you will be a warning. If I keep here, you say, hey, you didn't move anything, you can do a mistake, so don't do it. Movement is very simple. Like I showed, it's drag and drop, and you select your way. And I'm trying to make a raid here on this airfield because that might be interesting. If I win, I can just destroy the plane on the ground, which is quite interesting. Another thing is that just checking the line, my goal, and we are talking gameplay here, would be to trap all these major Italian army forces here in Solum and Bardia. And if they are trapped, because I can see they are blockaded by the Royal Navy, they won't get supplies, and so they will be weakened and easier to beat. So the goal will be to reach these regions here to encircle them. A good thing is to use the fast reconnaissance battalion to go into the way, and maybe you can stumble on units you didn't see. I'm trying to circle around the enemy, and if I win here and here, and I capture these things, I can work my way. And so I'll play my units. An important thing you have to know is that the battles will be resolved in the order they will be started. So the first one will be this one, the second one will be the next one, etc. Also important, when you have only air units in a battle, you see the battle symbol. If you don't send land units, the air units will bombard, but nothing else much will appear. So before we move, let's have a quick look on units. Here I have this O'Connor stack selected for movement. I can see I have a brigade, armored brigade, a powerful unit, a mechanized brigade, which is interesting because it's fast moving, and what is more important is that in case of a breakthrough, the mechanized troops will follow. It's written here in the details. You can see a small explanation here, the stacking point, the combat value, attack and defense, the movement value, what remains, what is the max. Why is it green now compared to others which are not green? It's because I played this O'Connor card, which gave me +2 points, otherwise my movement will be 7. And the good thing is that in this way, when it's green, I know I have a bonus. When it's red, I know I have a penalty. And I can see the details here. You can see with the symbol movement point modifier +2. So it's a reminder I got this bonus. So what are the figures? Here's the life points. It's how many strength has the unit. And of course, when it goes to 0, the unit is eliminated. When it goes to half, the unit gets a white stripe in the middle and have much less striking power. Other information here is the stacking value, which you find again here. Very easy to have it here to remember how much you can do. On average, you can put between 10 and 14 units. So you see these 2 brigades do already half of the thing. The nice thing is O'Connor, because he's well organized, he gives me a stacking bonus because it's -1, so I can put in theory 1 more point. The artillery regiment goes well also, and the logistics, very important to survive in the desert. Also stacks. The second thing here are these symbols. You can see the little arrow, it's showing attack value. This thing is defense value, you can see it, attack defense. The movement, when it's a black circle, it means it's a heavy unit. It's usually slower, but it's harder to hit. The little symbol here, it's showing a unit that defends better against tanks, so it's good. The anti-tanks units. The diamond, very important here also, is the morale value of the unit. In battle we will see that, but if your morale drops to 0, you lose. O'Connor has a morale which is indicated in green, which in general means bonus, and the bonus means here he boosts allied units +1 in attack +2 in defense, so it's very good. And this time he has a bonus of movement, so it's a very important unit here. How much is a 2 or 3 compared to other figures? It's very simple. On average in this game, 1 point gives you 5% chance of hitting the enemy. So in theory, with a value of 2, you have 10% chance of hitting the enemy. You will say it's not much, but you see the little dots here. When there are 2, 3, or sometimes more, but it's usually on average 2 in this game, it's a rate of fire. It's how many times in a battle the unit will use its firepower. So this Matilda unit, when attacking, will play twice the dice, and it's 10% times each. In defense, it's even better because they are stronger. They play also twice, the 2 little dots here, but they have 15% chance of hitting, so they are much better in defense than in offense. Interesting. You will see in other scenarios the German Panzers are quite interesting. Here, for example, if you take an obstacle, which is a passive descent, has only 1 point of strength, so it can be killed quickly. It has 5% chance of hitting. Yeah, I made a mistake. The 0 is the best result you can do on the dice. So a unit with a value of 2 is 15%. It's 0, 1, 2. And of course, this one is non-moving. The little button here is very important. You can entrench. Entrench means improve the situation on the field. You can see the sandbags, and so the unit will inflict a -1 to all the dice of the enemy. So it's good when you defend. The inconvenience is that if you entrench, you are not allowed to move. All right, so we have seen more or less what are the units, and so we will decide to move these guys. And my goal is to strike deep into the enemy and try to complete the encirclement here. And the thing is that I'm planning to use the breakthrough feature of the armor units and the mechanized units which can follow, which means if they win a battle, we will see that later, they will be able to fight again twice. So let's see what we can do. We have another unit here. We will strike the battle here. We have Solum here. I will try to attack the enemy here. I have my boosted Australians here. 7 points. I can see they can go as far as here. So I will send them to fight. And I will just, in prevision of the future, send my trucks forward to improve my supply network. As you can see, when I've moved completely, my movement point is 0. It's better to keep your supply units protected all the time because they are easy targets for the enemy, and if you lose them, you will start taking hits on your units in morale and strength, and so your army will probably vanish all over the way. A little trick also, which is quite interesting, is how you attack. If you attack front like I did here or here, well, nothing special happens, it's just a battle. But if you manage to attack an enemy from different regions, like at least 2 different regions, and if you do 3 different regions, you will get a bonus in battle. I'll try a trick here. I will send my Indian brigade to reinforce the attack on Sidi Barani, because I know there are plenty of Italians here. But my goal will be to get rid of this Italian army. A good thing you have to know is that an enemy unit can never retreat into a region where you attack him from, and can never retreat into a region when there is an enemy, and can never retreat in a region where there is an ongoing battle not yet resolved. So the order you solve the battle is crucial. And so my trick, and I explain the trick I usually do in this scenario, I want to get rid of this big Italian stack here. So my goal will be to attack it frontally with the Indian Division Brigade here. And so I'm sure they will never retreat here, they can't retreat here, they can't retreat here. And I will use a second move to attack them here, so they can't even retreat here. So the goal is that I want to make sure they can never retreat from any of these 3 directions. They cannot retreat here because of the battles, unless of course the battle is resolved, but the order you will retreat the units is very important. So to get rid of this stack, my plan is to start this battle here, and because I have an armor unit, try to break through. If I manage to break through, I'll be able to start a second battle here in book. And of course it means I will have conquered this. If I manage to repel the Italian all the way, then you will see that the Italian here will be totally surrounded, and when I will have solved everything around them, then I will do the last battle here, and if I win, they have no way to retreat, they will be just eliminated, they surrender. So you have here some tricks. Also very important, check the map. You see these little trails here. What they do is that they make movement 1 point per unit in clear, 2 points in rough. But the most important, and you can see it here, they allow supply. If you check on the supply filter, you see wherever you have trails is green, wherever you don't, it's red. So don't end up into this unsupplied region because you would suffer. Of course, units like obstacles don't need supplies because they are not actually troops, but just like things that you have set up to protect your rears. Another important unit here is a depot. You will be able to build them either by cards, only on a region with roads or tracks, or by converting a mobile unit. A card also will do that, and then it will become a depot, and the mobile unit will return to your main port and will be available again. So that's how you build your supply network. Supply is extremely important. As I said, that without supply you just vanish. The question is how far it goes. The rule is simple. It's 3 regions away from a supply source, or what we call a supply relay. Supply sources in the game are only the main ports of each side. So it's Alexandria for the Allies, and it's Tripoli all the way back here for the Italians. Important to know is that the supply goes through ports. You can see ports here, and they can shortcut, you know, the land supply thing. Thing is, the Italians have ports here, but those ports are blockaded. It's a scenario creature, though the port will not be useful. That is, if these Italians here get encircled, they won't receive any supplies, then will start eating on their reserves, their own trucks, and slowly die away. Another important thing is that also if you go into a fortification like Tobruk or Bir Hakeim here, you are supposed to leave from the reserves stockpiled in the fortification. The issue is that if you are inside the fortification, you are not in the region, so the enemy can go through or can even besiege you. And if you win the siege, which is very easy in this game, except for strong fortification like Tobruk, not in this scenario but later, then you lose everything inside. So it can be a way to survive, but it can be a death trap at the same thing. So we have made a quick tour, but if you see a very important aspect also on the supply thing is that every structure, I call structure in the game, cities, airport, forts, is called what we call a supply relay. Right click, you will see, give you information. You have all the structure list here you can go through. You cannot enter an enemy structure, but you at least can go and see where it is. So if you see my supply, it goes all the way from Alexandria through structures. There are less than 3 regions away. So 1, 2, 3, these guys, and if I take Sidi Barani will become another relay. Here I have 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, etc. So overall, my supply line extends to here, but here I'm not in supply unless, of course, my supply unit with O'Connor survives, and then it will be a relay if it's only 3 away from Fort Maladena, which I hold now. So basically, don't run too far away, because if you outrange your supply lines and supply range, you will start taking hits. It's in morale, it's in life points, and it's in combat ability, showing the lack of food or lack of fuel, and the mechanized units are penalized more than the infantry units. So here we have the first situation just before we move into battle.